Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Casual Chaos. This week I have my most requested guest. Mom, welcome to Casual Chaos.
Thank you, Gia. Thanks for having me on. And I'm your most requested guest.
Yeah, everyone wants to hear what you have to say.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
All right, so we're kind of going to go back to the beginning a little bit.
Okay.
Why did you decide to join the Housewives? Did you ever question putting your life, marriage, and us on TV?
No, I mean, I remember these producers went to the salon in Franklin Lakes called Chateau, and they requested for beautiful women with beautiful houses, like over the top lifestyles. And the owner of the salon said, I recommend Dina and Jacqueline.
Okay.
So they started out with them. Then Dina recommended me. So they interviewed them. They loved them. Dina recommended me. Jacqueline recommended another friend of hers that was beautiful and was really wealthy, but her husband said no. So her husband said no. And then Jacqueline said, oh my God, maybe that girl Danielle that comes to the salon, she'll be good. And she ended up being great TV. Yeah. So she got on. And then Jacqueline also recommended her sister-in-law, Caroline. So she got on. And then with me, they came over the house while we were redoing the house, and they interviewed me right there as all three of you got, it was you, Gabriella, and Melanie, all walking around the house while the house was, being I would say renovated. Yeah. So they interviewed us like it was very easy, like right outside our house.
Like your normal everyday life.
Yes. Like it wasn't done like in a studio, or they didn't come to the house, bring, all these camera crews, none of that. Because I know that's how they do it now. So it was just, they just talked to us. And then I guess they're like, oh my God, she's definitely TV gold, And then they chased us, the whole family, like us, because everybody else signed their contract right away. And I didn't sign the contract. Gee, it took me almost a year. And all my friends were so over me because I would call Dina and say, well, do you think I really should do this? Or like, what is this? And Jacqueline, they're all like, oh my God, we're so over you. Because I didn't know what I was getting. I didn't understand it.
So why did you have so much hesitation?
I don't know. I just didn't know what it was. I was like, I thought it was kind of a joke. Because never thought that, oh my God, that I was going to become this huge reality icon, or whatever you want to call it at that time, like movie star or big TV star, never thought that.
Big TV star. We're not in the movies yet.
I know, but I'm saying that's something I would say, because when you're on TV, you say movie star, that's something I would say. Yeah, that's my language. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into, really. But then finally I was like, it wouldn't go away. And they kept calling me and calling me and calling me. So I was like, you know what? I guess it's maybe something I should try out. So, and I was kind of like, you were already, I think, 7 or 8. And I was doing the same thing every day. So when you do the same thing every day, you get bored.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I would love, I'm like, they're just going to follow us around doing what we normally do, and now we'll get paid for it. Yeah. Going shopping, hanging out with my friends. I mean, of course they don't, it wasn't that much, but obviously now, throughout the years it built up.
Yeah.
So then I said, yeah. So then, how I signed the contract was so easy that I didn't even have a lawyer look at it. Jacqueline was so over me. She's like, Teresa, she's like, just sign it already. So I signed it. I handed it to her, and we were together, and she stuck it in the FedEx box, and that was it. So that's how I signed my contract.
Oh, that's actually a very cute story.
Yeah, that was it. So yeah.
But it took you a while.
It took me a while to sign the contract. Yeah. I mean, would I do it again? I guess. I mean, I wasn't hiding anything, and Daddy was like, see, if Daddy thought he was doing something wrong, he would have told me no. So he didn't think he was doing anything wrong, really. And but so
And those early years of the Real Housewives, and now having those memories of our family when we were younger and you and Dad, it's really nice to look back on. It's almost like we have home videos.
That's what to me is the best part, especially because my parents are not, Nona and Nono are not here anymore. Like, I love seeing that.
I do too.
I just wish it would have been just better with them, meaning like, the part, of course, with my brother and not, of course I don't want to talk about him, but obviously like better times, on TV.
You wish, there were better moments of your parents shown and not dealing with so much heartache.
Yes. Like, I wish there was like, just,
more positives, basically showing the true meaning of an Italian family.
Yeah, like season 1 and 2 were like that because like they were in my cookbooks and we videoed that, and they're part of my like I love that you and Nona are on my second cookbook. Like we have 3 generations on my second, on Fabulicious, on my Fabulicious cookbook. So to me, that's like something that I'll always cherish, and I'm so happy I got to do that, especially because my mom's not here anymore. So I love that.
So it was a nice memory.
Yeah, that was like I would have to say, doing the show, that was the best part of it. Like the good memories with my parents because they're not here anymore.
Yeah. And listen, we do have good representation of what an Italian family is supposed to be like. I know a lot of people don't see it all the time, but you do say it. Dad's family has shown, my sisters and I at least, and, I'm sure they've shown you too, what family really is supposed to be like and how you're really supposed to always have each other's backs and be there no matter what goes on. And Dad's family really does show how, the Italian family could be so close.
Yeah, and they do. And that's one of the things why I wanted to be with your dad, because I came from a small family and he had such a big family. Do you know what I did when I first started dating your dad? Like, his height bothered me. No, he really did. So my dad was a shoemaker, so I made my dad cut all my heels so he wouldn't be taller than me. Did you ever know that?
I feel like you told me that.
So I cut all my heels so we would be the same height.
I mean, I feel like I would do the same thing.
Yeah, because I did not want to be taller than him.
No, that's also, it's weird.
No, but then after we got married, I didn't give a anymore.
Yeah, because you were married. I mean, I wouldn't want to be taller than my man.
Yeah. I mean, so now I don't have that problem anymore.
No, you don't.
Because I'm with Louie, so.
No, you don't. What were your first impressions of the original cast members of season 1?
Dina I loved. She reminded me always of Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
Like this blonde bombshell, sexy.
She's so gorgeous.
Like hot. Like, yeah, I used to always tell her that, with the big boobs, like hot, smoky hot, sexy. And then Jacqueline, same thing. Because I'll never forget the first time I met Jacqueline. I was like, wow. She was hot, like sexy boobs, small waist, smoking body, sexy legs. Her legs were like so hot.
I feel like you always used to say that when we were younger, that Jacqueline had the best legs.
Yeah, she does have sexy legs, yeah. So yeah, that's what, this is how I'm describing everyone. Yeah, and then there's Danielle. Danielle was, let me tell you, Danielle was made better. Like, she was TV gold. She really was. She was awesome. She was put it all out there, literally.
Yeah, she really put it all out on the table.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought she was great, and she was fun to be around. Like, she was fun and like very easygoing, just so much fun. And even though in the beginning, like, she was like insulting me a little bit, but that's what made me flip the table on her, because she would just like throw these little jabs at me, like, don't talk to me, like, or she said to Joe, like, don't speak to me like you speak to your wife. Yeah, like, stuff like that. And I'm the type, I take it, and then when I don't take it anymore, I explode. And she saw that,
Yeah.
But I have to say, Danielle was so much fun, like. And like, getting to know her, and then look, we ended up making up later on anyway. And Caroline, I never hung out with Caroline. Like, Caroline was Dina's older sister, so I just kind of just respected her because she was Dina's older sister.
Yeah.
So, and that was it. So that's how it was with Caroline. And then with Caroline, it was like we were building a friendship because I really didn't hang out with Caroline. I hung out with her sister, Dina. And that was it. So that was the cast, yeah.
Who did you immediately know you wouldn't get along with?
I would say if I had to pick someone, Caroline.
But you flipped the table on Danielle.
I know, but I liked her in the beginning. I did because she was just fun.
But you didn't know if you were gonna like Caroline.
Yeah, because she was just older. She seemed like a little like not my speed.
Yeah, and that's fine.
At the time, like she wasn't like I didn't hang out with Caroline.
So you didn't know.
Yeah, so if I had to pick someone, if you're asking me if I had to back then, if I had to pick, if someone asked me
before going into it, if you had to pick someone, it would probably be Caroline.
Correct.
Got it.
Because Danielle was fun. Like she really was. And I like fun people.
Yeah.
Like I like having a good time.
I know you do. What was it like having cameras around us for the first time? Did you feel like you weren't able to fully be yourself, or I actually think you were more yourself.
Yeah, no, I was totally fine.
Not even more, but you just, and I always say this, you and Dad were TV gold. Just because in the early years, you were so funny, and you still are, but it's just funny to watch yourself 15 years ago because, we were all little. Our family was obviously younger, and it was just cute.
We were all little.
Yeah,
like
we were all little.
Young, like it was years.
It was just, it was 15 years ago. You looked younger. We were all little.
Oh my God. I feel like I look at pictures of how I used to do my hair and makeup back then. Oh, I feel like I look so much better now, even though I'm older. I feel like I like my hair and makeup better different.
Now. You barely wore makeup, first of all.
Yeah, I didn't.
In season 1 or 2, literally nothing, and you just embraced your natural Italian beauty. You wore your hair curly.
Yeah, I did.
And I love your hair curly. It was just natural. You really didn't do much. That was the thing.
Yeah,
you didn't do anything.
But
that's why it's so cute too.
I would always make sure you and your sisters looked perfect.
But you
and
looked
then with
perfect
me, I
too.
would just get ready quick.
No, listen. When I look back at old photos, I love you and Dad's engagement photos. I love the photos of you guys riding your bike in the park. Who takes photos like that anymore?
Oh,
no one. I want a vintage camera and to take photos like my mom and dad did.
That was me. That was my doing, not your dad's.
Yeah, but those photos and just the way you guys looked, it was just perfect. But I don't know.
You have a camera. You could do the same thing.
All right. Tell Christian to bike me around the park. No, but I don't know. It was just Dad was so unfiltered, actually. Yeah. He said whatever came to his mind, and he still does. But that's why people loved him, because he didn't think before he spoke. He just said it, and it was so real. And I feel as though you and Dad changed nothing going into the show. It was how we were every day.
Yeah. No.
What was it like in New Jersey when Housewives first aired? How did you handle it? Did anything change around town?
No. I mean, what changed? The only thing that changed when it aired, that everybody was like, oh my God, they were like loving me. And they wanted to take a picture with me. And I'm like, a picture? I was like, okay. I was like, all right. So that's what changed, like people noticing me and wanting to take a picture. And
did you like that, or was that a little overwhelming at first?
I didn't mind it. It was just when I was with you girls, like when you girls are with me, Melania. Like Melania would, if I had took a picture, she would take off on me, and then I'm like, oh my God, all right, real quick, I'm like, have to go get my kid, yeah, like because Melania would just take off on me. She would not stay next to me, and that's the only time I got overwhelmed, or I got nervous because I didn't want Melania to God forbid, somebody take her or something.
Or a fan actually brought Melania back to our family in Disney.
Oh, yeah, in Disney, she ran away. Oh, my God.
She wanted this doll, and she wouldn't stop until she got this doll.
Well, we lost her for 2 minutes.
It was 2 minutes. No, but it was the
longest,
scariest 2 minutes of our lives.
Yeah, it felt like a lifetime, yeah.
We were taking pictures with the princesses. She wanted this doll so bad. She ran.
Well, I didn't know she wanted to die. She just left us, and then she went. She was like outside, in the store.
She grabbed the doll. She ran out of the store with the doll, and thank God a fan recognized us.
Because we were going crazy looking for her.
And the fan brings Melania back. We were like, what do we have to give you? God. We owe you everything.
I was so scared. That was so.
I don't think we haven't been back to Disney since. When did you find out about the charges against you and Dad, and what were the talks with Bravo when all of that was happening?
Oh, that's like now I think that's been so long ago.
It was 10 years ago.
I know.
You got out of.
I mean, listen. When it all happened, I didn't know. I thought it was all a joke, like for me anyway. Like with your father, I mean, with your father, I was like, I'm like, obviously I knew, for the government to come knocking on your door, there was something going on, And I remember them come knocking on the door, and I'm like, all right. They're like, is your husband home? I said, no. And they're like, all right, we're going to wait for him. I said, okay. And then.
Where were we?
I don't even know. I think you were maybe at school. I don't even remember if you guys were there. I was like, okay. Like I was like, okay, no problem. I called him like, Joe, these guys are here waiting for you. He's like, all right. And then they said they're gonna wait for you. He's like, okay. And that was it. And he came home. And I think he talked to them. Yeah. I mean, I was never arrested, never handcuffed. Never shackled. See, thank you, God. At least, that was one good thing. I have to say, like, yeah, your father and I, that never happened. I don't know what happened to your father when he went to prison, but with me, none of that happened. I mean, you would have to ask your father, what they, if they shackled him, because he was, I think, maybe in higher security.
I think they might have, especially because he was transported a lot of times.
Oh yeah, that never happened with me. So and thank God for that, because I know I'm not a criminal, and that would have made I wouldn't have been happy with that. And yeah, so I was just like, what? And I recently found out now that I thought I bought a house. I thought I bought 2 houses. Because I really wasn't really paying attention to the whole thing. I guess stupid of me, but not really, because I really wasn't involved in your father's business. So I thought it was all a joke, and I was like, "What? What's going?" I never was involved in it, so I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I was like, "All right." So they're like, "You have to get a lawyer." So I was like, "All right." I couldn't use his lawyer. I'm like, "All right, Joe, get me a lawyer then." I mean, and so I had to get my own lawyer. And then I thought my lawyer was so expensive. And I thought my lawyer, of course, was going to have my back. Me and my lawyer did not get along. It was, yeah, I mean, I feel like with all that, I feel like they already know what's going to happen. And especially if you're in the public eye, they make an example out of you. And now I know it all. Like back then, like I never thought I was going to go to jail. Ever. Like in a million years. Like if you would have said, all right, I'm going to shoot you right now. Do you think you're going to go to jail? Yes or no? I'd be like, no, shoot me, because I'm not going to go to jail. Like never in a million zillion. I would have like never thought that, because I didn't do anything. So I was like, all right, I'm not involved in my husband's business. I didn't do anything wrong. So I was really cocky about it. I really was. I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. So, I mean, I guess we have to, I don't know what, they just have to do their investigation and find out what happened. And I was fine with it. And so I cooperated. I did whatever they told me to do. And, obviously whatever your father's. And then I just found out recently, because I just went to a closing. I went to a lawyer's office. I went to a closing, and I put my John Hancock on papers. That was it. So that's what I did. And then I thought he used my credit to, because at the time he was flipping homes. So I thought I bought a house or 2 houses or whatever. And I just asked him recently, and I don't know if you heard me asking him the other day. And I was like, he's like, Tree. He used to call me Tree. I'm like, what did I do? How many houses did I buy? 1 or 2? He's like, you didn't even buy a house, Tree. He's like, we refinanced a property I had. And I was like, what? I'm like, I went to jail for refinancing a house. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why did you make me sign those papers that day? I'm like, I'm like, are you serious? So that's what I went to jail for, because I and the reason why I went to jail is because I put my signature on papers that were like not like whatever numbers were on those papers were incorrect. Like that's considered fraud. From now on, never sign papers unless you know what you're signing.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, I mean, and like, and it's great. It's better like when you get paid by a check, like, or if you work for a company, you get paid by check, because everything is like
on the books.
Exactly. So like with Daddy, he was doing construction. It was different, So, and then what upsets me the most is that Daddy had a partner, and I don't know why I went to jail and his partner didn't. So read between the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what upsets me, because I would have been kind of fine if all three of us would have went to jail. That would have made me feel better, because he had a partner in a lot of properties, a lot of them. And I know that because, and then for me to go to jail signing, like a refinance property is so sad.
No, it really is.
And and then leaving you. And what hurt me the most is leaving the four of you, like for almost a year.
Yeah, that was definitely hard.
Like that, and what kept me sane was that I knew my parents were going to be with you guys. And I was like, that was like the only thing that kept me good. I was like, my parents are going to be with them. And I told my parents to speak Italian to them every day. So I want them to learn Italian. And I was like, I knew you guys would never forget them, because they were with you that whole year. And then look, I come home, and then 8 months later, I lose my mom. And that's when I was like so over your father. I was like, that's when after I lost my mom, I was like, I'm never going to be with this guy ever again. Like I kept fighting for him, but I knew I was not going to be with him anymore, because I was just so mad, because I felt like I missed out with my mom going away. I'm like, if I was home that year, I could have been with my mom. So I felt like I missed out time with her, which I did.
Yeah. And I mean, also that whole process for sure just made Nonna suffer. She was so upset.
They were so,
and so was Nonna.
They were so distraught over the whole thing, and then I just kept reassuring them, and I kept telling them I was okay, and I really was okay, because I'm very, very strong. And I knew in my heart, like, I was like, really, God? I really would talk to God every single day. I'd be like, why am I here? Tell me why I'm here. I'm like, why am I here? I mean, and I have to say, I was in Danbury, Connecticut. You remember, the grounds were beautiful, because I saw all 4 seasons while I was there, and I worked out.
You see the 4 seasons here.
No, I know. But I'm saying while I was there, I was outside a lot. So I used to walk the track a lot. And then what happened too, then, because everyone knew I was there. So sometimes we would have to there would be helicopters outside trying to take my picture. So then we would get stuck, and then everybody would not be able to go outside. And then some of the girls in there would be pissed at me. But I'm like, it's not my fault, that, there's helicopters trying to take my picture. I'm like, I want to be outside too. But anyway, that was the best part. It was like seeing how the seasons changed. It looked really pretty outside, because that's who I am. I always try to make a bad situation into a good situation. I don't know.
Yes, you do.
So
she tries to make light out of everything.
So I was like, you know what? There's a reason why I have to be here. I don't know it right now. I guess I'm like, really got to just tell me what. I need to know the answer. So eventually, sometimes he doesn't give you an answer right away. You find out years later. So anyway, yeah, I ended up, that was the best part of seeing the 4 seasons. But I just worked out every single day, got in the sickest shape.
You won the contest for a plank. She held a 10-minute plank in camp.
Yes, I did a 10-minute. I won out of like.
They had like a plank contest in their fitness class, and
no, outside, like the whole camp was,
the whole camp did this competition.
Well, whoever wanted to participate. Whoever wanted to participate.
So how many people were you competing against?
There was a lot. And I won 10 minutes. Yep.
Can you imagine holding a 10-minute plank? Murder.
Yeah, I can't do that.
That's criminal.
I can't do a 10-minute plank anymore. Yeah, we did one today when we were working out.
Yeah, and then as we're holding our plank today, she looks up and goes, I held one for 10 minutes in prison.
I'm like, I can't do that anymore.
Do you and did you blame Dad for all of this?
Of course. Yes. I'm like, I still blame him. Like the other day I was yelling at him. I'm like, why'd you even make me sign those papers? You know?
So do you think you've really worked through the resentment?
No, just because.
No, she's always going to yell at my dad.
I was like.
Actually, yeah, she's always going to yell at my dad. I don't think there'll ever be a phone call where my mom doesn't yell at my dad.
Yeah.
It'll be so normal. You know, sometimes if my mom's in rare form and I walk into the house and my dad's on the phone, I literally could just tell by like her demeanor. And I'll be like, okay, Dad, I'll call you back because she's just going to start yelling at you. And then I hang up the phone.
He just irks me. Yeah. He does.
They'll be like,
and the thing
they're
is,
almost like as weird as it sounds, like.
No, and this is the thing. No.
Is that weird?
No, and like I hate to say this. Well, it's the truth. I don't know if people know this, but like I hate. Not that I hate. I mean, obviously, he has no control over. I don't like. I wish things were different. That I wish he was helping me more. So it's like everything's on me. And
well, even just him being in a different country, his presence. Not being in the States and not being around just puts all the parenting on you.
Yeah, that and financially.
Yeah.
So it's a double whammy. Just like Teresa all the way around. So it's like that's why it irks me, just because everything's on me, parenting wise. You're right. I didn't even think about the parenting because the parenting I have no problem doing because I love you girls. You girls are
and he tries his best. Again, it's hard. There's only so much you could do over a phone, and he knows that. That's why he gets frustrated. Well,
that's my point.
It's all very frustrating. Stop. It's all very frustrating, but obviously if he was able to be back in the States, things would be a lot different, and it would help you out a lot more.
Yeah, so that's why it's like everything's on me. So, so that's why.
This is why you should have just made your citizenship.
Right, and that's why he
this is why he should have gotten his citizenship.
He definitely become a citizen if
you're doing some construction work and you're not a citizen, go get your citizenship right now.
Definitely do that, and make sure you do everything right.
Cross every T, dot every I. It's not worth it.
Who wants to take shortcuts? It's definitely not worth it, and definitely don't make your, someone you love
sign something.
Yes. Definitely not.
Because, it is true. You love someone so much. They tell you to sign a paperwork. You never think that your partner's going to steer you wrong, especially when you're, in love. You have kids. You're building a family. You really don't think that. And I don't think that was my dad's intentions. Oh, no. My dad never wanted to hurt my mother. And he even said it in court. Please don't do anything to my wife. Like, I will take full responsibility for this. I will do double time for her, everything. But
no, he didn't do that at first though. Like, he didn't. He really didn't. Like, because he didn't ever thought that I would get in trouble. He's like, you didn't even do anything. And then afterwards, he's like, they want you more than they want me. That's what he said. He's like, because we were on TV, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I didn't even do anything. It was so like the
I think everyone was processing things in this moment.
Yeah.
So then, crazy. At that point, kind of what my mom said before, they were really targeting our family. And, as well as, we were being targeted, but my family did learn many lessons from this. Like my mom just said, my father has learned so many lessons from all of this.
Oh, yeah.
And, not for nothing, my dad has to deal with that remorse and guilt for the rest of his life, that he isn't with his kids. His marriage fell apart. There were multiple things that went wrong. You know, he missed the death of my nonna and nono. Which he was extremely close to my mom's parents. So there were many things that my father has missed. Endless holidays, birthdays, graduations. Yeah, just
high school, college.
Just a lot.
Yeah.
So he deals with that remorse and guilt every day. And, you know, my mom deals with the brunt of, you know, being with my sisters and I and raising my sisters, and she does such an amazing job and supporting us. So it really is a lot on all ends, and I think, you know, you both deal with a lot from it, and you both have definitely learned a lot from the whole thing. You know, you go through things in life for a reason, and this situation definitely taught us a lot of lessons.
Yeah, like I don't want you to ever sign any unless you're.
She always says to me,
like, don't sign anything.
Don't sign anything. She goes, you know everything Christian does, right? Like everything's good, right? I'm like,
no. My thing is, like,
no, but my mom always.
If your partner gets paid by check, then you're safe, because there's like you can't fuck that up. You really can't.
Yeah, and hire a good accountant.
Yes, and hire a good accountant. Yes, that's the best thing. But
financial advisor, anything you need. I got all my ducks in order.
And that was the thing. I had the best credit. Like my credit was over 800. And I remember my mother.
I pay my credit card bill on time every single month. My credit's on $800.
No, you don't understand. I had the best. And my mother. And then I remember I told my mother. I'm like, I just, you know, I went to a closing because I think my mom had to watch you guys. And then she's like, well, and then she said to me, "Matere, make sure he pay it." And I said, of course, Ma, he's going to pay it. You know, I think I told her I bought a house. I didn't even know what freaking refinance was back then. I didn't. That's the thing. I was really a housewife. I really wasn't involved. He took care of everything. I never I didn't pay any. I mean, if anything, maybe once in a while if he told me to pay a bill. But he had, you know, he had a secretary. So, you know, he handled everything. Yeah, back when I had the kids, maybe I think when I first like got married to him, and maybe like in the beginning, but when we moved to our house, and you know, our house in Indian Lane, like he had a secretary, and his secretary would take care of everything. So I remember my mother saying, "Mom, making sure he pay every month," and I said, "Of course, because my mom's like, you have your credit's amazing," and like even like my mom said that to me, like it. See, moms always know. I always say that anything that your mom always says, your mom's always right. So anything I ever tell you, I'm always right.
I know.
It's true.
So then obviously Dad got deported, and at that point you knew, I mean, even before then, you knew that the marriage was kind of over. But do you think if he didn't get deported, you guys would have worked it out?
Probably not. Because I lost my mom, and I was just so, like, it, you know, it still bothers me till today that like I had to go through that.
Yeah.
And it was his fault. So,
and then how did he react when you told him that you were getting remarried?
He was fine with it. Yeah, he was. What's he gonna do? I mean, I think it was on TV when I actually saw him for the first time.
Yeah, but you didn't tell him then you're getting remarried.
Oh no! But when everyone could tell that I was just not in love with him anymore.
Yeah, no.
Because it happened on TV. It really actually happened on TV. And you know, I don't know if anybody even knows this. At the time, Adriana, like he stayed in my room. Like you girls were supposed to have your own room. So, you know, all four of you, 2 sleep in one bed and 2 sleep in another bed. And we were in Italy because that's the first time we saw him. And do you know Adriana would not leave my side? So Adriana slept with me. She wouldn't leave me. And Adriana at the time, we figured this out like we were talking about this. She was like 9, I think. 9, right? Because when Daddy left, she was 6. So she was almost 10. She was between 9 and 10. And Adriana didn't leave me. So she slept with me, and Daddy slept on the couch. And then that morning, like the first night, he comes and lays on top of me. I'm just telling you this. He comes and lays on top of me, and he's trying to kiss me, but Adriana's right next to me, sleeping, and I'm like, and he's trying to kiss me, and I won't open my lips, I won't open my mouth, like I'm just I'm like, can you get off of me? I'm like, oh, Jonah's right next to us. And then he got off of me. But like we had, I had pajamas on here,
Yeah.
He was just trying to like give me, try to like see if my juices were going to start like getting like, I don't know. Like he was going to, he like, I guess he wanted to see if like I was going to be like, I'm just like get hot and heavy for him, but not. I was like, get off of me. And that was it. But that's when I knew, like, I'm just saying, like, that even for myself to see if it was going to happen, and it didn't.
I'm so glad. Okay, next question.
I meant to say if my juices were going to start flowing.
We know.
I'm just telling you. I'm telling you everything. We're shooting the breeze.
Shooting the
Shooting
breeze. No, you're shooting the.
Yeah, well, because you know what? I'm telling you, these are life lessons that I'm just telling you, like, for when you get older.
Okay, so if my juices aren't flowing anymore, I'll know to leave them.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and you should.
No, I would hope so.
Yeah, and life's too short for your juices not to be flowing.
Okay. Yeah. So, how's Dad's relationship with Louie?
Well, we all know they get along great.
My dad calls him Lou. They talk. They chat.
Yeah, they talk more than like I.
Well, they talk more than my. Well, please, could you yell at him? He doesn't want to talk.
I don't want to talk to him either.
Good.
Yeah,
we're on the same page.
We don't want to talk. Yeah, Louie and him talk all the time. I don't want to talk to him.
Yeah, like she just yells at him. Why the guy doesn't want to be yelled at?
Well, because the thing is, like,
it'll be starting good, and then it'll just take a turn, and he's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I guess because, like I said, I have a lot of resentment towards him.
And that's fine.
Going to jail, parenting by myself, financially doing everything by myself. Like, if I had help with one of those, maybe I would be a little bit nicer. So, if I have a reason to be.
Yeah, he takes it.
It's
not like he doesn't take it.
Yeah, there's a reason why I'm so.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you know what? I'm grateful to God that I'm able to do it all. Thank you, God. Yes. No, really, because now I'm really, that's why I pray to God a lot. And God, it's good to have faith and it's good to have God in your life. Because I feel like I don't have my parents anymore. And I feel like, besides, I'm grateful for my 4 daughters.
Don't say you're an orphan.
I do feel like I'm an orphan.
No,
so at least I have God, and I feel like He could help and protect me,
You're not an orphan.
I do, but it's okay, but my parents are not here anymore. So it's like, I really have no one to turn to. I really
You
don't.
have us. Thank you.
Well, I would never ask. I don't want to ask you guys for help. And Louie, he's amazing, but it's good to pray to whatever guy you're into. Missy, start coming to church with me.
I know.
Yes.
I will.
Okay.
How do you think Dad feels about us living with Louie, him being so involved in our life? I feel like he's very grateful.
Yes, I think at first, well, you would know that more than, because you're really close to your dad. So I think at first maybe he was like a little jealous.
How did you know Louie was the one, and did he know who you were before you met?
Okay. When I first met him on Bay Boulevard walking.
Everyone knows the story. We could skip to the good part.
No. So I would say when I met him walking, he was with his son. So when I met him, he was with his son. Louie said he didn't know who I was at first. His son told him. So the same day I met him, like afterwards, like after he, when I first went up to him, he didn't know who I was. And then afterwards, his son said, "Dad, do you know who that was? That was Teresa." From Real Housewives of New Jersey. And then afterwards, they were talking, whatever. Then he came up to me and my 2 girlfriends, and then he said, "Well, can I have your number, Teresa?" And then he drove up to us and he said, "My son wanted to know why I didn't ask for your number, Teresa." And then that's how I knew he liked me, because there was 3 of us, so I didn't know. And then I was so embarrassed. I turned up probably few colors. Now I turned red. No, because I was embarrassed. And then it was Louie was driving, and then little Louie with his girlfriend were in the back.
Little Louie with his ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah, little Louie with his ex-girlfriend were in the back seat, and then I was embarrassed. So I said to him, "Well, I have your business card. I'll text you."
I love that.
And that was it. Yeah, because I felt weird giving him my number because the son was there. So I was embarrassed, you know. So I said, you gave me.
No, but that's nice. That's hard to get.
Yeah, and
I like that line.
And then he said that his son was making fun of him. He's like, she didn't give you her number, you know, because making fun of because I didn't give him my number. And then afterwards, as we're walking, Dana takes my phone, and she's like, I'm texting him right now. And then she texted him my phone number. And then that night we talked all night on the phone, and Adele was with me, so she made me ask him 50 questions. I was like, oh my God, he's never going to call me again. Like she literally wrote down 50 questions and made me ask him. I was like, oh my God, this guy's never going to call me again. He's going to think I'm like a whack job, you know? And she's like, no, it's good. We'll get to know him. I was like, all right. So I did that.
And Adele was there listening to the conversation.
Oh yeah, she slept over. Yeah. And we asked him 50 questions. And then guess what happens the next night?
He asked you 50
Yeah.
questions.
And then he's like, well, I wrote down questions. And then he asked me. And you know what? I have to say it was kind of cute because we kind of got to know each other better, you know? And we were on the phone hours. Yeah. And then that was Saturday night. Saturday night. Then Sunday night. Then Sunday night I went to the white party with you. Mm-hmm. So that was that. And then Monday morning, he came down. We went for a walk.
That's when her other boyfriend got kicked out of the house.
No. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
I said that already. You tried to make it a secret.
I mean, stop. We're not talking about this.
Yeah, and it was very obvious. So then he left that night and never returned.
Well, that was the first time you ever saw. Wait, that was maybe the second time you saw him?
Yeah, and he never came back.
He was a friend.
He never came back. The friend was exiled from the group.
Yeah, he was a friend. See, time was up. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
hit it for long enough.
Yeah, well, nice person.
Great. So how'd you know Louie was the one?
Yeah, and then Monday morning, Louie came
Okay,
back
this
down
isn't
the
how
shore.
you knew Louie was the one.
Oh, no, I'm saying then Monday morning, Louie came down the shore. We went for our first walk, and then he sent me flowers, and then that's when you guys knew that I was seeing someone.
Yeah, because the flowers were like as big as the table. The bouquet was bigger than the table.
Right. So that's when you guys knew I was seeing someone. Really? That was like,
Yeah, so the fling, she tried. Then this is when we knew things were getting serious.
Well, yeah, the fling was just a friend. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very nice person.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, and that was it. It was not right. Yeah.
We know. Make sure to listen to part 2 of this episode with my mom.